So here we are on Kingston's Handley Spur, and we're going to bring the CP into town and do some switching in this totally unrehearsed video, live to tape. So here's the train coming in from the wilds of the north, bringing some cars down from Smith Falls, and we're going to switch the warehouses along Railway Street. A few of these cars that we'll set out. So we've got a car of flour from Santa Fe for Weston's, and we've got a couple cars for McCosham van lines that we're going to switch, and we'll see what else we have time for. So we're just going to put these cars into the siding right now. We're using X2F couplers and DC power pack. And our model era is circa 1970. So let's drag some of these cars we don't need out onto the lead, and set out some of the cars we do need. We need that CP boxcar, and we need that Baltimore and Ohio Sentinel, and they're going to McCosham's. I've just been reading the latest issue of Malware Road Planning, including Lance Mindheim's piece, so it's been somewhat inspirational. And he talks about complexity, and I think once you get into a downtown layout, you're going to have lots of complexity. So I'm unapologetic for the number of spurs I have down here that we're trying to serve. Also the rate of the switching, which tends to go rather quickly. A little HO scale trainman must be able to jog up to the head end when he's done his moves. He has to be. A relatively short attention span just won't allow anything else. So there's the three cars we need. This is real-time switching. Just passing the 3-minute mark, so I'm trying to get lots done. There's the cars we need. So we'll just stick them together. And then there's a couple of cars up on the head end that we're going to switch out later. So we'll just stash them for the moment. With the rest of the train that runs down this way towards the corner. McPherson is down there, and here's the Weldwood lumber place. And we'll just leave those cars right there. Then we'll go back down here with our power. And we'll pull the cars out of those two spurs that we're going to switch. First is Weston's, and I'll get that air slide covered hopper out of there. The X2F couplers are good for coupling, not so much for uncoupling, where you have to lift up the end of the car. But there's also no barbecue skewers involved, as there sometimes are with some of the newer couplers. So they're not such a large fleet, I was unwilling to change over, so we're still using them. X2Fs. So now we'll go in and pick up these two cars at McCosham. They brought in some household effects, and the air slide is empty of its flour load. So So we're going to stick them back on our train, and then we'll set out the loads of household effects and wheat. Our tail end is over here somewhere as we're shoving back. Until we get clear of the switch. And now we're heading back up here to get the cars we want, that we really, really want. Got a little bit of a view break there between the CN and the CP. And in the background, some cool rock and jazz. Some people like silence and some people like a little background noise, but I thought it would be better than just the clickety-clack of my non-sound equipped HO scale trains. Let's move in a little closer here. So now we're backing that car into Weston's, where you can see the white overalled employees just ready to get at it and make some more bread, because when the company makes bread, they make bread. That's done. Now we'll just pull ahead and drop these two at McCaution Band Lines, which did a pretty good business with CP. All these warehouses were built in around the 1950s when truck transportation was coming along, and in a lot of ways taking a lot of traffic from the railways. You notice a sitting figure there on the loading dock. I'm a big fan of sitting figures because I can plausibly put them there not moving for hours, unlike more actiony figures. And there's two for a caution. Let's get out of there. We'll go up the lead a bit. And we'll come back. Oops. Drag some of these cars out of the way. Now we've got some cars where you have facing point switches, spurs in which to set them out. So we're just going to put them in the siding here, we run around track. So we've got them where we want them. In the foreground is the CN interchange with CP. So we've got a Southern Pacific shorty gondola, and we've got a Burlington route reefer that was left here off spot from the last session, and those are our two facing point moves we're going to have to make. So we'll set them there and pull these guys ahead. This is basically the CP on my layout is basically a point to point with a runaround track, so we can either have cars off the head end or off the tail end out of the siding where we can get at them, or put them where we don't need them. So we'll just push these all the way back. Then we're going to get into the corner to go over there to McPherson's. Let's get a little closer to the action, shall we? Okay. So we'll shove all this clear. I'm going to actually shove it right to the end where the coal unloading dock is. So that'll be a little place to stash everything that we don't need. So there's two empties at McPherson Steel, and we're going to pick them up. One of them is going to be backhaul. It's going to be become a load of scrap out of Cohen's scrapyard on Montreal Street. So, and the flat car will go back to the CP freight car pool. Need a little assistance here. And we'll get them where we can get at them around this tripod, hopefully. Okay, do not adjust your set. You're just going to have to do a little coupling on maneuver. There we go. Those are the cars we want. So we're going to push them into the siding here. Going way back for some headroom there, or maybe tail room. And we'll bring them through the siding. Slam them into the two we do want. And push it at the end of the siding. Then we're going to go back in and do our set out of the first car at McPherson. Where are they going? It's a very handy siding, a runaround track, you want to, whatever you want to call it, for switching on the CP here. Does not want to hold on to that flat car. Okay, we're coming back. And we're going to do a quick uncoupling of that SP car. So we'll come back for him, and these other three can sit right in here. The engine is coming around the far end of the siding. And then we'll reverse through at high speed, pick up that SP car. Hidden behind that little limestone outcrop there. Let's see if we got him. Nope. Okay, I think we got him now. This is a load of equipment for McPherson where they made head shields for various pressure vessels, tanks, some of Kingston's limited heavy industry. And we're just going to clear the switch, and in we go. So we're at the 14-minute mark. I usually spend about an hour down here per night. Last night there was operation, and there was also gravel painting. So I try to mix a little bit of modeling in with the operating. I had some tan colored gravel from when my layout was set in Manitoba, and as we know in Kingston we got to have gray gravel. So rather than scraping it off or putting more on, I just decided to use a dilute black wash that makes it turn gray. Oops. Okay, we went past the switch there. We'll just back up and couple onto those cars that we're going to push in to Cohen's and to Cataraqui from that off-spot Burlington reefer that's first up. So first we're going to go in. Let's get closer to the action. I'm going to move my dolly over here and say hello. Hello, Dolly. And here we come. So let's go in there. We've got a Pacific Fruit Express empty that we'll need to take with us. And also a carload of scrap. Got a little bit of trouble at the switch here. I'll just fix that up. If this was a real video, it would have been edited out. But as we all know, things happen. Come on there, get on there. There we go. So we're going straight through, across Railway Street into Cohen's scrapyard. Whoops. Make sure all the couplers are together. I think I lost you there for a minute. And let's come back out of there. Nope. Doesn't want to cooperate. That's okay. Now he does. There's Katie Manufacturing in the corner and front night floor and wall tile. A couple of the rail serving industries. Just adjust the tripod a wee bit. And we're getting out of there. And we'll just shove these clear of the switch. And they will be taken back up the line to Smiths Falls. Okay, your services are no longer required, except that Burlington car, we still need him. And we're going to pull back and push in. So now we're coming into the spur with our empty for the scrap loading. Fortunately, there's no traffic on Railway Street. That scrapyard is one that I built outside and just dropped in on the layout after the summer. It's kind of a fun approach. So we're going to couple that one. I'm just going to leave that flat car there for now. We'll come and pick him up later. Let's get it back onto our Burlington reefer that we need. Just in the foreground on the interchange are the cars that I brought out of the industries before I started taking this video. And that's where those cars take off and go up the CP. So here's our formerly off-spot load of produce that's now coming into Cataraqui. And there we go. Now we'll pull these two cars we left on the main line back down the lead. Come on. Let's follow the action a bit. And we're just going to leave them right there. And then we'll see what else is on our train that we can deal with tonight. Oh, I see one. We can drop a carload of coal to the Die Company of Canada. I'll have to pardon my stand-in buildings right here. The real thing is down at the Pump House Museum, and these are some stand-ins I stuck in here on Rideau at Cataraqui. Now adjust your set. Normally we'd have the Bailey Broom Factory and the Woolen Mill and the National Grocers Building. But instead, what you see is what you get. Whoops. There we go. So we want to get to that little covered hopper, or sorry, little coal hopper there. So we'll just take him with us. And he's clear of the Dico switch, which was located on Kingston's waterfront. Not necessarily under the River Street Bridge like mine is, but that's okay. Get a little closer to the action. And we're going to pick up that little C&O hopper that's there. And away we go. Let's get a little bit closer to the action. If I was a railroader, I would have left enough room that I didn't have to shove all these cars back with the C&O hopper, but that's just the way things happen here in the Hanley Spur, so we'll just give them a bit of a polite shove. And then we'll take our hopper in to Dico. Those cars are sitting right now on the diamond of the CN, which is the track you see in the foreground, and the CP. Right over there, under the River Street Bridge. So here's our last move of the night. We're going to drop this hopper in here, and then it's time to go and check out Ken Jennings on Jeopardy. So if you're still with me, thanks for watching this far and watching my first official live to tape switching video of Kingston's Hanley Spur. That's where we'll leave it.